We came to the end of the lease, and here in 2026, we put out for requests for proposals. We did not get any requests for proposals. We want someone to continue operating it. After we did that, 2 organizations came forward and were interested in staying. And one was ready, that had been in there, was ready to paint the building. We told them to hold off because what we found out was that it's not as simple as just putting a new coat of paint on the outside. There's some pretty serious issues with the maintenance. Right now, we've got Intervention for Peace on a month-to-month basis in there. They're operating still. But I guess we need to start the discussion about what council thinks about the amount of money. It's estimated at $100,000 roughly, plus a 20% contingency, so it could be $120,000, and that's just on the outside. The inside of the building's in very decent shape. There's a nice deck on back. The basement's in pretty good shape, but as far as the roof, the chimney, the windows, it's much more than just painting the building.
So always the first question that comes to my mind, did they maintain it? I mean, is this a cause that they didn't do something that maybe led to water damage? I guess the question is, this is a lot of money to fix up a building. And, I don't know where we're going to get that money from. And then the next question I spoke with the mayor is maybe there's grants available since it's considered an historic building to look at, the availability of some grants because it is all exterior, as was mentioned.
Maintenance that we identified, the paint is peeling, but behind the peeling paint is rotten wood. And if you look at the house, it's kind of been scabbed together over the years. There's hardy board, there's regular exposed wood that's deteriorated. The chimney is off center, and the mortar's popped and through freezing and thaw cycle, like the whole chimney needs to be removed. We also looked at it from other angles, like how can we better utilize the space. I had the rec center look at it for potential programming, and it's just not large enough. Even if we took some of our smallest classes, the way the inside of the building functions right now, it really wouldn't benefit us to be as a design cost or a proposal in there for $4,700 to prepare bid docs and take a much closer look at the exterior and get some plans in place because we really need an architect to identify that so that we could potentially go out to bid if that's a direction.
My thoughts are we bought the house in order to save it was really the reason that we bought it, is my recollection. And most of the work that was done on the house after we bought it, a lot of the work that was done on the house was donated, because if you look at a picture of the house and the back of the house before we started to work, it looks like a completely different space. Right. If you look at the houses on the street on South Broadway, there are 3 or 4 of the oldest houses in town because they're close to Champion Creek. And that house is, of course, one of them. So I think it's, we spend $100,000 on a lot of different things during most meetings, actually. I mean, we're spending $100,000 on the deer program and probably a little bit more. And we just spent, I don't know how much money did we spend in the rec center recently to upgrade the rec center. So I think it's money well spent. So I think we have an obligation I think a good way to start would be to get an architect and take a deeper look at it and come back with a closer look at exactly what the details are that really need to be done to the building and what things need to be done now and what things maybe can be held off for a while. If they don't all need to be done.
Years, we haven't had to put any money into it. They have paid the rent. The inside is in very good shape. It's got a new deck on it. The basement's in good shape. They added some cement work. But it's a house that, like any house, it's going to need some upgrades, and they were ready to paint it, and then that's when we said hold off because we realized it was a lot more than just some peeling paint.
I think it would be worthwhile to have somebody take a look at it and give us a professional opinion as to what needs to be done to this house. But with knowing what we have in our community, there's a possibility that we could elicit some additional help, work power to do some of the work. One of the things that comes to mind is our vocational school with their construction project, programs there. This could be a great opportunity for them to to learn some things and do some good
And don't
work
we have an
here.
engineering program at the Career Center also?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of great programs there that could allow these students to learn and hands-on and help the community.
I think Mr. Robinette's letter in the package gave us a good outline on where to look and what to look for and how to move forward in a good manner. So I'd like to see us proceed with that. I think our biggest question, though, is, I mean, he's done a pretty good job of outlining what needs to be done. We're at the point of, are we going to hire him to prepare some bid specs?
It's an occupied building. It's in a highly visible place. There's some serious work that like the chimneys need to be tuck pointed. They need to come down. All of the soffit and everything needs to be replaced. We don't know what's behind the siding. So it's like one of these projects, and, you know, some of you are probably more well-adversed to historical buildings than I am. Sometimes they tend to snowball into things. I think that Kimberly and Barb, we could get together to try and identify some ways to, you know, apply for some grant funding to do it. I'm not exactly familiar with, you know, all the resources that are out there, but I know that we have the ability to find it. But getting the direction that, you know, we want to proceed with a professional plan to repair the exterior, replace the windows with something that matches that particular house. Kevin does a really good job with that stuff, and it takes time to develop plans. So realistically, if we get this, we're probably not until late winter before we're even ready to do something.
Question is, when the architect came up with this proposal and put a 20% contingency in it, is that based upon other projects that he's been involved with, where the hidden costs that we don't know about, is that kind of the average 20% over what he thinks needs to be done? Would be the hidden cost, would be like, okay, we need 100,000, and they come back, okay, really it's 250,000 we need. So I just, you know, because if we start the project, there's no way to stop. And so how do we get a good estimate of the unknown, so to speak? You know, people who do this kind of can figure that out. I just wanted to know, is that kind of the $20,000 number is what he figures the unknown cost would be?
That's my assumption. He was pretty adamant that go into the figure, but I think we can, if we know that's the direction we're going to go, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but I'm pretty sure we can pull some siding off and see kind of what we're getting into and do a much deeper dive so there's not as much unknown. Right now, we were just looking at it from, you know, its face value and taking
It's
pictures.
going to have to be the 301 account. I mean, that's when we look at the income tax this year, we may have to reallocate the income tax again to put more money into the 301 account just to cover projects like this. So when we look at the budgets, we'll have to make a determination how to do that, because all these projects are coming up and the money has to come from somewhere.
Right.
So we have to.
I think we have an obligation, though, since we bought the building, we collected rent on it, I think we have an obligation to support that.
And it's a great location.
So there's your answer.
So go ahead. Let's go.
Sounds like, you know, move forward and get a more detailed sheet on exactly, you know, what the specifications.
There's a way we could get approval on the proposal that was included in the packet. It's the $4,700. I know, I'm not sure if Mr. Huber's had a chance to look at it. I did give him a copy of it. That would allow me to then
go
get a
forward.
signature on it and move forward with the process.
Yeah, is there a motion just to, subject to the law director approval?
Yeah, move to approve the $4,700 proposal for the architectural work, subject to the law director approval.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 26-171, accept a donation for Jump Playground.